dig deep. What is your passion?
Get back here!
And how do we turn that passion into money?
A euthanasia service that comes to your door.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse. Did I say that on the video?
Well, you said
hair?
You should say probably beard hair.
Beard hair.
Because we're at a brewery. We're at a brewery. There's a hair on the table.
It's a beard hair.
You said it was probably beard hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Gasparilla International Film Festival.
Yeah, we did it.
Review episode.
Yes, we did it. It was fun.
Well, no, right? That's what we're doing. We only went
to 2 days of it.
2 days of the film. And only like
but
one.
But it was only Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, but only like one hardcore day of filming. Film festing. Yeah. So the Gasparilla Film Festival is a film festival in Tampa, Florida.
Yep. Annual.
This is its
15th year.
And we've gone, I think, since
2017? Maybe before that.
Maybe 16. It all starts back at a lazy Saturday morning, not knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe let's say 16.
So when we went and saw that Nirvana documentary?
Well, we saw that one earlier, Montage of Heck.
That was a long time ago.
But that we just went to go see that.
Yeah, we just went to see, we didn't go to the whole festival.
The year later,
we went to the whole
we had
festival.
nothing to do on a Saturday morning.
And I said,
let's go see this film festival.
Let's go to the film festival. Let's get passes. Just go all day.
Yeah. And we went
all-day movie.
We went on like an all-day Saturday.
And then the next year we got passes for the weekend.
The weekend.
Saturday and Sunday. We usually do it for our birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we've been quite a few years. We didn't go last year.
Well, with COVID, we've kind of been away.
And then the year before, I don't think they had it.
Yeah.
So we're back. And
but I think it's neat just to do it's that idea of just seeing a bunch of movies. Like you see 3 to 4 movies.
In a row.
It's a marathon. And really, more times than not, you're not fully
clear on what the movie is.
Yeah. Like I know this year was more so than ever. Years past, I know one year we saw like there was a Nicole Kidman movie. We're like, oh, let's go see that. We saw Moonlight one year.
Yeah. At the film festival.
What's that?
At the film festival.
Yeah.
We saw Moonlight, yeah.
But we knew we were walking into, this is Moonlight. We need to go see it. And then there was that Jim Gaffigan movie like we mentioned in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Being Frank, I think it was called at the time. I don't know what the movie changed.
They changed the name, yeah.
And so we would be attracted to certain movies that we knew the people in, either the directors, writers. But this time, so that's always fun. But this time,
like, I just read the summary. If it sounds slightly interesting, I'm like, let's go do it. Let's see it. Who cares if it's bad or good? Or nothing we saw was bad.
I don't think we've ever seen a bad film in the film festival. One that I was like, over all the years, I don't wish we'd seen that. Our biggest mistake is we walked in to see One Cut of the Dead, a Japanese horror film, and left.
I think it was like our 5th film of the day.
Yeah.
And it was like 11 o'clock at night or something. It was late.
A year or two later, I rewatched it, and I don't think you've seen it yet.
No, you watched it with
and
Julian.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that movie. So it was really good. But no, before that, we just finished day 2. We saw some shorts, some made in Florida shorts at the University of Tampa.
Yeah. Women filmmakers.
And we're missing the closing film. They're doing Old Henry at the Tampa Theater.
Which is a Western, right?
Yeah. Blake Nelson stars in it. And they do the closing ceremonies, which we've never, ever done the closing ceremonies.
No.
The award ceremony
Right.
and the final movie. But instead, we strolled on down the street, a couple
Mm-hmm.
blocks away, to Magnanimous Brewing.
Sitting outside on this lovely March day of, it's like 60 degrees outside, 65.
Yeah, it's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly, but we are sitting outside. Some interesting things have gone on, and we're drinking a double IPA called Juice Lord Almighty.
Juice Lord Almighty.
Juice Lord is
Before
kind of their
that-
signature IPA.
Yeah, before that, we had Master of the Hazies.
Master of the Hazies.
See a trend in our choices.
So they have, we've talked about Magnanimous before. They have really good IPAs.
And there's a pineapple sour I got my eye on.
Yes.
We'll see if it's as good as the old cripes from Angry Chair that we raved about in the
Yeah.
2 episodes ago
We'll compare.
at Circa
We'll
1949. So no, I thought maybe we could just run down yesterday
Okay.
because we saw 3 movies.
3 films.
And then we can kind of wrap up on our little shorts. But I think on this, anybody listening,
Go in
right?
order.
These movies that I'm sure will pop up somewhere at
They
some
will.
point, maybe on a streaming service or a Redbox or something. You're not. I don't think any of them are going to end up on
They're
theaters.
not like heavy hitters, you know. They're
But
not.
you will see these pop up on a streaming Netflix or Amazon
sure.
at some point. If you do,
You
I
should
think
check them out.
all 3 should be
3 we
watched.
saw were worth watching. They were different.
Yeah.
They're, you know, all completely different, which was fun because we sat for a long time. There was no break in between the movies.
no. But thank goodness these were short films.
They were short, but from
But-
about 5 p.m. until 11, we were in a movie.
No, but short. When I say short, it means they were all like 90-minute films,
Right.
which
But
these days is a
Once one
blessing.
ended, the other one was starting.
Yeah,
and
so it kind of.
we thought we'd have a little break to eat dinner, but we didn't.
Well, as much as we love
We ate
Gasparilla Film
popcorn
Festival,
for dinner.
well, 2 nights in a row we'll get to their popcorn meals. I mean, we love you at Gasparilla Film
We
Festival.
do.
But there's
Wholeheartedly support
always
A little disorganization.
it's a little so we tried to plan. We looking at the schedule, we had a little bit of break.
So we tried to make a food plan and like grab a drink in between. Like we were going to go down to this pretty good pizza place. Not great, but pretty good. And grab a drink and a pizza in between. But it didn't work out because
Yeah.
everything started later. And
What
we
was
ate popcorn for dinner.
what was neat about, and they're kind of just in this. The only bummer part about Gasparilla Film Festival is currently it's not all centrally located in one
area.
area.
Mhm.
I get it. It doesn't have to be in one theater. But
One part of town would be nice.
before a lot of it kind of lived in Ybor City.
Right. And they
and
shut down
post
the theater.
COVID, that's changed.
Mhm.
Our theater's gone. So
Centro Ybor
yeah,
area. Or that area's not gone, it's just the theater.
the theater's gone
Yeah.
from that. So some of it's downtown. Some of it's
Remember previous when we saw that Nirvana thing, it was downtown, like where
well, I was in
Sparkman
the
is.
channel side area.
Yeah, channel side.
No, so we're in a theater. We're in like an AMC movie theater amongst all the other moviegoers.
Yeah.
And we're just like tucked off in the back wing, like, oh, go to these theaters.
Yeah.
So, but no, so our plan was to kind of see, but it was to get some food, but we were just like
We're going for
rushing from movie to movie. And but
Yeah.
I think that's some of the fun of it. That's what I like about.
it. Yeah, that is
the
the fun
festival.
because you don't typically do that in your everyday life. You kind of pause, just like when you go to a music festival. You spend all day at a music festival.
Yeah.
You kind of pause and just focus on movies that you might not typically see, or music you might not typically listen to.
Yeah, so you don't even have time to like think. You're just like, okay, this movie's next. This movie's done. Our next movie starts. We got to go get in line for that one
Yeah,
because you also have to like try to get a good seat and I don't know.
because you can't pick your seat.
Yeah. So
Like
through
you
all that,
typically
like
do.
you said, we ended up having no. Well, I guess we'll get to our dinner when we get to our third movie.
Yeah.
But but a similar thing happened the previous night with the Batman is because
Yeah.
it started at 6. we were rushing to get to the theater after work, and then
It's 3 hours long.
so long, so we ate that entire big bucket of popcorn, which never happens.
Large popcorn for dinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you'll see that happens again. So, I guess the first movie was a little film called Marvelous and the Black Hole,
Yeah.
and it's a comedy.
It's a comedy. Yeah, it's a comedy and kind of a coming of age. Yeah.
You know, we were talking at the beginning before we started over our first drink what our format should be.
Mm-hmm.
And though we got a lot of positive feedback about our Yay and Nay Batman episode,
We did.
we said we weren't going to do a Yay and Nay, just a recap. I just thought of a format for our talk.
Tell me, please, because we're in the middle of the podcast right now.
I know. This is a little inside peek that people
Okay.
have of what it's like
Right.
to maybe for you to live with me.
Yes.
After we'll each pick what streaming service we think the particular movie might pop up on.
Okay.
Because as I was thinking about Marvelous and the Black Hole, I thought of which streaming service this will appear
Okay.
on. Anyway, do you want to say kind of what Marvelous and the Black Hole is about?
So, Marvelous in the Black Hole is about this teenage girl. She's her mom has
Angry teenage girl.
angry teenage girl, turbulent, disgruntled teenage girl. What teenage girl is not slightly angry? But she's going through a lot of things. Her mom has died. Her dad has a new love in his life, love interest. She has an older sister. School
So her sister's older.
seems as if.
Yeah. Which
Don't
gets
you
to one of
think?
my questions about this movie.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't figure out the age of these girls ever.
High
It's an-
school or middle school?
It's
So she's 14 because she has a birthday.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I want to say her sister looks more towards like the 16
Yeah.
age. They're just kind of more homely looking
She's a
girls.
14-year-old who smokes and curses.
She
and
smokes, she curses, she fights,
She breaks things.
she breaks things. She's angry about her mom dying. She doesn't know how to process that anger. She meets this quirky old woman,
Played by
played by Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Rhea. I
From
don't know how you
Cheers.
say her name. From Cheers,
Yeah.
which was cool. I like that a lot. And the woman tries to, help her and teach her magic.
Yeah, she's a
and,
magician.
yeah, and she kind of bonds with this woman, but it's basically a coming of age story, and I've had kind of this girl finding how to process this anger and grief that she's dealing with, and how her dad is trying to understand it and help her, but also live his own life. And it was a really good little story, I thought. And I did like the girl that played the main actress, Maya Check.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That?
She played Sammy. Her character's Sammy.
Her name is Sammy. She did a really good job.
I think she
The
did a pretty good
sister-
job.
Hmm.
Which is funny. I thought the sister did a slightly better
Really?
job than Sammy.
The sister was slightly distracting to me, just like how she was acting. I didn't think was more realistic. I thought the main actress girl did a good job. I think she was over the top angry.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was
but
hard.
We don't have teenage girls. I
I
hear
know,
that
I know.
teenage girls are really dramatic, more than we're used to having in our home
Yeah.
with boys. So I have nieces, and there's a lot of drama in the teenage years with girls.
Yeah.
So
No, it was a neat little story about her, the girl Sammy, and it had this vibes, and maybe it was Perlman's performance and the way she did it. Right, it had like Harold and Maude vibes for me. Not the romance
not the
side,
sexual part,
but the part about a young person meeting the eccentric old person
Mhm.
and learning about life through the eccentric old person.
Do you know what it reminded me of? I think
What?
it was a movie we saw at a film festival. That like grandma movie. It was called like
Oh, with the girl, with what's her face from with Gardner from Ozarks.
Mhm.
Yeah, we didn't
What
see that at
was
film
it?
festival. We just went and saw that.
The actress was someone famous as well.
Yeah.
The older lady.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not helping folks, but I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Julia Gardner was in it. That's what we saw. We just saw it to see it.
The lady that plays, I don't know. Anyway,
But this also, Perlman's performance reminded me of Ruth Gordon's performance from Harold and Maude. That
yeah.
same sort of.
Kind of.
She's extremely saddened. She has deep sadness within her. She has deep sadness, but yet she's decided to celebrate life, to find ways to celebrate the sadness she has.
To find the positivity, and that's exactly what this girl needs. Yeah. She needs to figure out how to move on with life and find the good parts and the hope, even though that grief of losing your mother is never going to go away.
Yeah.
But there's still a way to embrace life, and a positive was the theme.
And had a little thought, a little thing about the father, how to kind of connect to his daughter.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of blind to her way of suffering and mourning and dealing with the loss. Though they didn't really go into it, there was a neat little. They were an Asian family, so there's a little dynamic there in that. And even the father's new girlfriend, fiance even, was African American. So there's a lot of neat little parts in it. And that was my one thought at watching it, was that this movie was good at a film festival. And maybe if I just saw it at home one day, it felt like it needed a few more minutes in the oven, though. You know, they could have
made parts more heartwarming, more deep, more.
Because the film, it was short. It's only 81 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good story.
I was like, I think find 10 more minutes. 10 more pages of a script that maybe got cut. I don't know. Could have flushed out a few more of the things a bit. I just struggled with, as I said at the beginning, I spent half the movie just trying to figure out how old she was because it was confusing. Did she get kicked out of school? She was in school, but she got in trouble in school. And then she was in this community college.
No, I think,
class.
I want to say she...
I couldn't understand why she was sent to community college. This was just an extra class?
I think it was extra, and I think, and I'm not trying to sound stereotypical or...
No, Dad was just keeping her busy, giving her...
I think keeping her busy, giving her more, and, giving her something,
or maybe
something
it was
creative to...
Maybe this was summertime? Maybe it was the summer?
It might have been summer. Because it just feel like going to real school kind of dropped from the equation.
It was right at the beginning that she got in trouble at school. She got that black eye, got in that fight. And then Dad enrolled her in community college, or else he was going to send her to, boot camp.
And it could have been a summer, because I think that was a summer camp thing.
I just thought it was weird, this, the community college professor calling home saying, your daughter's not in class. I'm like, she wouldn't. They don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that.
But you're right. It must have been this extra, and it was an entrepreneurial class
starting business.
And that stuff, I just think maybe it got cut or wasn't fully explained. So I spent too much in the first part thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But as the second half of the movie does much better than the first half, and you kind of get into it. So I liked it.
Yeah, I liked the relationship between Rhea Perlman and the actress Maya, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I just had that mentor. We saw that mentor relationship. We saw the same thing in Coda.
Yeah, I like movies like that because I loved Coda.
Yeah,
I loved Coda.
Well, we'll get it.
Talk about it.
If we get to our Oscar show, we have.
We have an Oscar
We have so many
podcasts to record.
Ideas. For the month of March, the 1990 episode.
I think you said the month of March.
The month of March.
The month.
That's a screenplay I'm working on. The month of March.
The month of March.
It's actually a really good idea. The month of March. No, the month of March.
The month of March.
We have now our Gasparilla Movie Festival episode.
Yeah.
We have the 1990 episode.
Yeah.
That we're working towards. And we're working towards the Oscar
episode, which is March 27th.
Our picks.
Our picks.
And we got to get it out
'Cause
before
we're
the
working through
27th.
the Oscar movies.
Yeah. Oh, I just don't want to watch
This
West
double
Side Story.
IPA is getting us.
All right. So real quick,
Okay.
if you're thinking into the future, which streaming service do you think Marvelous and the Black Hole is going to pop up on? Threw you on the spot. Want me to go first?
Yeah.
And then you'd be
I
like,
have
okay.
two in my mind.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah.
What are the two?
No, you go.
No, say the two, and I'll tell you one of mine.
I'm going between Hulu and Amazon Prime.
All right. It's neither one of those.
Okay.
No, I could see Hulu. I picked Netflix.
Oh, okay.
You know, like Moxie, this movie's going to pop up on Netflix one day.
Okay.
But I could see Hulu tends to go for the more
Hulu.
quirky
My
comedies.
first instinct was Hulu. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe Amazon Prime. But my first thought was Hulu.
Okay, I like Hulu. So we'll say look out for Marvelous and the Black Hole coming soon to Hulu.
Or Netflix.
I think Hulu's the better choice. I like it. I like
think
Hulu.
But it was a cute film. I liked it.
All right, so then the movie ends, and they whisk us out,
They whisk us out.
even though we're returning to the exact same room.
Exact same room. So we can't keep our
'Cause
seats.
they have to rescan our tickets. And we enter the lobby again to a packed area
Packed.
full of
Not even
movie.
hardly enough time to get. No, we couldn't even get anything to eat or drink.
No.
For the
Because
second
when we
movie.
come out, who do we see? The casting
whole
crew
cast of the next movie.
of Relative. The director's
So
there.
we're like, and the line is packed. We're like, we got to get in line.
Not the whole actors.
Almost.
Wendy Roby from Twin Peaks was in this movie, but she's not there.
Well, not there, but a ton of actors.
But most of the
were
other
there.
folks were there.
Yes.
And so,
And the director.
and because we just said in this Marvelous and the Black Hole movie, we're not at the end of the line.
We're standing in line with the cast.
No, but we're at the end of the line.
Oh, yeah. Then they went in, but we had to get in the regular
Yeah.
line.
So we're in the pedestrian, the pond sludge part of the line here.
Popper.
The pond sludge.
Pond?
Pond, like the bottom of a pond, the
Oh,
sludge.
pond.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
So we get Whisket. So then we eventually get into the theater. We're like the last two people to walk in the theater.
So
and
we're
who
like,
do we have to sit amongst?
but I didn't even know that was him at first.
Who? What do you mean?
So we go to the seat we want, and we're like, excuse me, are those two seats taken?
Yeah.
And the kid guy,
Young
college age,
person in their 20s.
person in their 20s is like, oh no, of course, go ahead, sit there.
Oh, I knew
and
it was
then
him.
I didn't know it was him. And then I was like, as the movie started, I was like, this is the guy. This is like one of the main characters in the movie. And then all of the main characters are sitting right in front of us.
No, we were forced
and we're
to
sitting
sit
right next
amongst
to
the talent of the film. The director was right behind us.
right behind us. yeah.
Michael Smith?
And in the beginning, I whisper over to you, I say, behave yourself. Because
Years ago I fell
years
asleep.
ago, he falls asleep during a movie, and the director is sitting right behind us. And I'm like, so embarrassing because he's literally snoring in the theater.
I don't know who you're talking to right now. But the point is, that year, it was like the 10 o'clock movie.
Yes.
It was a moody, slow horror film
Right.
in a foreign
Polish.
language.
It was like in Polish. or
I don't even
something.
remember this
Yeah.
film. It was in Polish. It was one of those that was good, but nothing really happened till the end. I seem to remember you liking it,
Yeah, I liked it, but I don't remember it.
but it was our fourth movie,
Yeah. It was late.
and I remember just not getting to stay awake for half of it.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
director was right in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Needless to say, when that Q&A session opened, we just ducked out of there quick.
We're out. I was like, oh my God. The director sat behind us and my husband slept the whole
No,
well,
that one he sat
you
in
weren't
front
my
of us.
husband then, but yeah.
He sat in front of us.
slept. Oh,
He was
in
right-
front of
he
us.
was right in front of us.
You're right.
Um,
So anyway, the whole
But no,
cast
I didn't
is
realize.
sitting
I
in
knew
front
that
of us.
I knew the guy we asked us could we sit next to was one of the actors, because when we came out of the theater and all the cast and crew got whisked in real quick to get their spots, he was chatting how he kind of just got here. He still had his backpack. He was in travel mode. He had his backpack. He had his headphones, all the stuff. I think he even had a rolly suitcase with him. Something.
Right.
So I saw him, and when we came up the stairs for our seat, I saw him sitting there. I'm like, oh, that's the dude who's in this movie.
Right. What's his name?
I was gonna look him up. He plays the character Benji. In the movie.
Cameron Roberts.
Yeah, Cameron Roberts.
Yeah.
His character was Benji. And he was really cool. Yeah, he's like, yeah, no problem. Sit next to us. I didn't realize that the whole row in front of us was like all the cast.
The
and
entire
then
cast.
the director introduced the film.
Even Francis, whatever his last name is.
Oh, Francis was the treat that he was in the theater.
We didn't quite realize that at first.
Because he was the best thing in this film.
Yeah. 100%.
And then the director comes and pops in like directly behind you.
Yeah.
And this is like a small theater.
Yeah.
It's like old school seating where you can kind of see the back of the head, the the person in front of you.
Was a really good film.
Yeah, so relative.
I really enjoyed it, and it really touched me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the director introduced it that it was. Well, he did it 2 ways. I think he did a better introduction in the lobby. He was telling somebody about it. He said, "Oh, this is a film about a family coming together for a graduation."
College graduation.
Yeah, college graduation of the guy we were sitting next to.
Of the guy we were sitting next to.
And it's about one relationship ending and another beginning.
Yeah, and that's true. But it's more than that.
No, I know it's more than that. And then he said in the theater, it's a story about love.
It's a story about love, and it's a story about family accepting each other through your flaws and you know, knowing it's just so hard. Family is so hard.
Well, what did the director say? He said it was...
he said something about that.
He said that when you have problems in a family, it's not because when there's conflict in a family, it's not because there's lack of love. It's because there is love.
Too much love.
Yeah.
You love someone too, which is so true. And
no, I thought
this movie really resonated with me too much.
I'll be honest. Before we left the house, you were like, "This is the one I'm not that most excited to see about." I just want everybody to know that since you threw me on the bus for snoring at a previous film festival.
No, you're right. I read the summary and I thought this might be slightly boring.
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
I don't
this
know.
is the one I said,
You're
I
right.
think this is the one I want to see.
Yeah, but then once you kind of got more into it, I was excited.
Well, there was
we
couldn't find a trailer online, but I started reading some articles about the director and some of his other films.
Yeah.
And then I saw that Wendy Roby, who plays the cheerleader with the eye patch in Twin Peaks.
Yes. And I didn't realize she was in it either.
Yeah.
And that kind of ups the game for the movie, for sure.
Yeah, Ed Hurley's wife. I forgot her character's
she
name in Twin
kind
Peaks.
of regresses to a teenager.
Yeah.
To be a teenager.
And with her curtains, her runners with her silent runners.
Yeah.
So seeing her in it, I'm like, okay, cool. The director, writer, if he cast this person, and you kind of start thinking, okay, he's on the wavelength of it has with itness, like it's kind of cool and in touch. That got excited, but no, I thought my one thought watching it, initially my first thought watching it was that, just his general take on like family dynamics, even though families don't, that's kind of how you hope families interact, I think. I thought it was just very authentic.
So authentic.
I
thought it was
but
so authentic.
not even in the writing of the families, of just how the actors connected.
Yeah, the interactions
for a
of
low
the
budget
family.
indie film. I was like, wow.
so authentic.
They felt like a real family.
Yeah, they really felt like a real family. There were so many things that I just was like, you could connect to no matter who you are. Like, I'm just saying I connect to it. I think anybody can find things in this family to connect to. Like, and just, there are so many parts of the movie that I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is this person in my family, or this is this you know, just, I mean, I'm not naming any names, but you know.
No, I know. No, but
the
it
sibling
felt,
in the basement. Everybody has a sibling or family member that's 30-something years old, still live, you know.
that is that like Arrested Development, can't kind of move on.
Can't move on sibling. Whether they're living in your parents' basement or not.
Yeah.
Everyone has that. And whether it's an uncle, a sibling, whatever, it's there.
Now, granted, he was kind of covering all the bases, right? You have the lesbian couple. You have the sibling who lives at home. You have the college graduate / the kid who's like 10 years apart from the rest of his family, his siblings, which is Cameron.
And I love that it was just like super liberal family.
But then you have
lovely.
Yeah, and then you have the other dynamic of the traditionally the wife,
with
husband,
the
wife, and the kids,
child.
but yet the husband doesn't participate in that sort of family, right?
So that's the character I related to so much.
Oh, I'm sure. And that was the neat thing by the movie, that they didn't really talk on, like, when was her character's name Wendy, I think?
They didn't really go into her role too much. But she was, I have to talk about
It wasn't Wendy.
her for a second. First of all, I thought she was a phenomenal actress. They didn't go into her too much. She was kind of the good girl.
Because she's the one
that doesn't have any problem. Well, quote, doesn't have any problems.
She's not sharing her problems.
She's not sharing her problems. She wants her family to seem fine. She doesn't want to burden her parents with any of her problems. She loves coming home to her family. She has this ordinary, everyday family that she's supposed to be grateful for and love. And the ending was so perfect with her going back into her home after visiting her family. I felt that way 150 times in my old marriage, going home, like visiting my family in West Virginia and then going home to my now ex-husband. I felt that way so many times. But when you're the person that is not supposed to have like all your siblings have issues.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to burden. You don't really feel like you have anything to complain about, and nobody really asks you.
Yeah, because she was.
Like,
yeah, that's what I thought was really good. That's the.
I love that. that.
But it's the one. They're worried about the 34-year-old who's living in the basement who can't get over his divorce. They're worried about.
Well, he was also has PTSD.
Yeah, he had other issues, and they're worried about
his mental health.
The 20-year-old who just graduated college, and moving. He's the baby. He's 10 years apart from him.
Yeah.
They're worried about the failing marriage of
their daughter.
The daughter,
gay.
The gay and the daughter, and that. And it's the one they're not
worried about. The one who has gone the traditional.
The one
route.
They're not focusing on is also the one who's struggling just as much, if not more.
Struggling just as much.
Yeah.
But she's just not talking about it.
Yeah. So I thought it was good. But that's what I mean about authentic. He did a really good job, the director, writer, Michael Glover Smith, of just kind of pinpointing those dynamics in a family.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. Like, I liked that he was able to do that. But with 4 siblings, there is that dynamic. Like you said, like he covered all the bases. He had the, gay couple, blah, blah. But when you have 4 children, your children are going to cover all the bases because they're all going to be completely different. And they're all not going to marry, have kids, and be like the traditional family. That's life. Like, and
No, it's funny.
Modern Family.
I thought there was a key line in there I thought was funny. Not funny, just like it makes you think about, like, just as a parent. I don't know anything about the director and writer beyond kind of what he presented at the festival and whatnot. So he could have kids. He could be married. I don't know, right? But I thought it was insightful writing when the father character, named David, played by the actor Francis Gudnian.
I don't know how to say his last name, but
you've seen him in multiple films.
Yeah.
He's like, he's really great, and his performance is like spot on.
So good.
I mean, it's
So
like the
good.
perfect. It's like
He's the perfect
the
dad.
perfect old dad character, like supportive but frustrated. But he channeled the frustration of a father, but then the support of, like, when I'm really frustrated with my kids and their behavior,
But I also love them no matter
but they'll
what.
support them even though I'm disappointed in some of their choices and their decisions. I don't agree with them.
Even make the parents' marriage seem perfect, which I loved that.
Yeah.
Like when he says "I love you" and she walks off. I mean, they just have this kind of like they love each other.
But he had a
it's
little
this
bit of
complacent
he had a little bit of his detachment of, like, hey, I kind of detach and do my own thing.
Mm.
That male detachment, but at the same time, I will kind of.
He was a more gentle.
I will try to understand. I will wrestle with understanding things I don't understand.
For sure.
Great performance. Greatly written, great performance. But there was even the line when he's laying in bed with his wife, the mom, and they're talking about the kids that night, right? As parents do. And he says the line, something to the effect of, I wish I was more critical of our children's shortcomings.
And she's like, you don't think our kids have turned out good?
And he's like, yeah, they're good. They're fine. He goes, but he wishes he could be.
He wishes he could be more critical, but he just sees
because it would have
as-
helped them through these struggles they have in life.
Yeah.
But it was just that questioning as a parent, like the things you let slide.
Should I be more critical?
Versus
Should I be?
You see the shortcomings.
There's no guide. Yeah.
You know, it was just like, I thought, a very insightful line. It's one of those, like, you know, do you look at your kids? And that was kind of the two views of the parent, right? And sometimes you see it with female and male. But that, like, one's too critical, one's not critical enough.
Oh my gosh, when the best scene for me, one of them is when all the kids leave at the end, like to go
the
back
empty
home,
nest thing, yeah.
and he tears up, and she kind of like pat.
They pause for a minute. It's
they
a little
pause,
pause.
like they close the door, and they're all, you know, the chaos is gone. It's over.
Yeah, like, oh, that's over.
And he tears up.
Yeah.
And the mom is kind of like, it's okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
That I like related that to that in so many levels. Not just for me and our kids leaving, but for my family.
There was the sadness in them, but I also read relief too.
Oh no! Of course it is.
Yeah.
I think it's both. Because
that's
it's
what I mean.
so
That's why I don't know much
It's
about
so
the writer and director.
It's so emotional to like worry about your kids that are adults that you really have no control over.
But then you're so glad that they're out of sight, out of mind.
But then you're so glad, but then you miss them. It's just this like conundrum, you know?
Yeah.
Like I already feel that now with an 18-year-old, and I know my parents feel that way when I'm there and gone, and we are there and gone.
My other thought about this movie, which I was watching it was also really good. And maybe it's just a nostalgic feeling on me. Because you don't, even in indie cinema, this was just a talkie movie. This was just scene after scene, really, of two people talking to one another. There were some ensemble moments where everybody was together, but more times than not, it was just two people talking. And sometimes it was the stuff we're talking about, the heavier conversations. But then other times, and this could also be the writer-director's influence and whatever, of those like Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino moments of, we're just going to talk about things that don't really matter. But, you know, like it's clever, quirky dialogue.
Yeah.
And then had those moments that kind of added some levity to this film. But it was also just nice to have those, you don't see that as much. And so it almost felt also a bit like of a throwback to 90s cinema,
Yeah.
too.
And I liked the new love interest of the college graduate boy.
Yeah.
She
And-
was good.
No, she was. And I've seen her in
And
things, too.
I felt like her, her entrance into the family and them hanging out. It was very like a sweet kind of like.
Well, that's the other thing it played well, too, was just when you're an outsider to a family, you're coming into the family.
You're
and they saw that
looking
with
at
two
it from
different
a
characters.
different angle.
So I say the final thing that I thought was interesting. This is a film festival. The cast and crew were there.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the
World premiere.
premiere of this film. So this is the first time they were all seeing it on the big screen.
So
So
it was the emotion from the cast watching it
Oh.
was palpable.
and the fact that by luck, by circumstance, we ended up sitting with
Right
the
with
cast and crew
them. Yeah.
in the theater because that was the only two seats we could find.
Great experience. I thought.
They're cheering throughout the movie. They're like patting each other on the back.
Patting each other, covering their eyes during makeout scenes.
Yeah.
Like
gushing,
taking pictures
hiding.
of themselves
Yeah.
on screen.
So that was just a fun experience. They were it was nice, and we saw it a bit when we saw the shorts tonight. It was
nice to
neat.
see like new actors and actresses and getting excited about themselves on screen.
that was
really,
just celebrating the work.
yeah.
Like celebrating that elevates. Even though I think Relative is a good movie, I think it's a really good movie.
It elevates.
It
the
elevated
experience,
it
for sure
because you could see their joy in making this thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then it was neat at the end. They did a Q&A.
Q&A. You can ask them questions.
And they said insightful things, and it was just great to see.
Yeah, it was fun feeling their intensity, watching them watch it, feeling their emotion during the movie was just like a really unique experience.
And I'll stock this up. Out of all the Gasparilla film, we've seen other Q&As for the Gasparilla Film Festival, but this is hands down my most enjoyable viewing experience.
Yes, for sure.
During it. And it's not because we were like starstruck because they were there. It was
because they're not really. Most of them, besides the Francis guy, are not like big stars at all.
But it was felt like sharing that moment with them, with the film that was heartfelt and meaningful.
And they were wonderful in the film. It was a good film. It was something to celebrate. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, you could tell everybody cared about the work they were putting on.
Everybody cared about it. Yeah.
So, which streaming service are we going to see this on?
Ooh. Netflix.
Oh, you got Netflix?
Netflix?
I picked Amazon Prime this
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazon Prime.
Because I think Prime picks up things like this better.
Okay.
But maybe Netflix.
Maybe. I don't know.
What's the thing?
Apple?
No.
No.
Apple's too big, high profile.
Oh, okay.
They're not interested in anything.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see where
I'm
these
gonna go
films.
with Netflix.
And I'm going to go with Amazon Prime. This feels like a Prime.
This movie's
I
gonna
will say
get
slightly
bigger.
cheating.
I think this movie's going to get bigger.
I know his previous film, the director's, I think his previous film is on,
you
on
are
Amazon
cheating.
Prime.
Okay, good.
It's on
At least
Amazon
you
Prime.
admitted to it.
But this will be on Amazon Video,
Yeah.
no question. Like
Okay,
a Prime
okay,
pick.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
All right.
And we didn't say it was filmed in Chicago. It had like a cool Chicago vibe.
It did. Yeah. It was just a good vibe. This movie was really good. Highly recommend it if you can find it streaming. Maybe look on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
We'll go with Amazon Prime.
All right. Before we jump into our final film of Saturday, Hatching, a foreign film, I think maybe I want to get that pineapple sour.
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll pause and
Pause.
no one will even tell, but we'll pause.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, we're back.
Sour equipped.
Sour equipped. It's called painkiller?
Sprain.
Sprain killer.
Healer?
Killer? Healer?
I don't know. It's like apple, pineapple, sour.
Something.
Maybe orange.
It's good. It's different.
right, so then to recap our night, we then got whisked out of
a relative.
the relative theater, only to get back in line to go back into the same room to see a Swedish or Finnish film called Hatching.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the Q&A,
It was late.
because of the previous movies
Everything was running late. So we had
our
no
window for
time
food was
for
gone.
food. So I went and
And
got...
we hadn't eaten since like breakfast.
Yeah.
It's 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
So you run off to the concession stand. I get us our
get popcorn and Reese Pieces.
our seats. Yeah, not knowing what meal is going to present itself. It's Reese Pieces and popcorn.
A little peanut butter, a little chocolate, a little butter, and
Got to get your protein.
popcorn.
And let me say, I said this on the drive home. I felt bad for anybody in that theater. It's a small theater. It's not a loud movie. It's a quiet movie.
It's a quiet movie. We were chomping on our popcorn.
And we devoured that popcorn
We were starving.
and Reese Pieces.
I was thinking of that a couple of moments. I was like, is it just loud in my own ear, or is it loud in the whole theater of my chomping on
Whenever
popcorn?
like there was loud music or loud sounds for a minute, I would just like devour as much food as I could.
I just ate whenever I thought about it.
I was cramming handfuls of popcorn in my mouth. No, so this is
So Hatching was a different film.
yeah.
It
Well,
was
there's always
very
some
different.
sort of horror movie,
At the
moody
end.
thing, but
Mhm.
it's never quite what you
Expect it to
expect.
be.
So it's not like, I mean, it's, yeah, they're always like either smartly done or well done.
It was well done.
So this one was a little quirky.
It was over the top, but it was well done. I didn't quite know what to expect. I mean, at first, it's kind of like reminds you of E.T. or something,
Yeah.
right? At
Yeah.
first, when
Yeah.
she kind of like takes in this egg and kind of like, it's like her baby. and
Yeah, so
she's
it's this
she's nurturing
family that the mom presents it as like she even has a YouTube channel or
a
or a blog,
like the
a video
perfect
blog.
life, or
And her whole thing is about how her life's perfect with
how
her
her
kids.
life's perfect. Her
Her two
husband,
kids.
her 2 kids,
One boy, one girl, husband.
perfect house, perfect kids. Kids have to be perfect. Perfect
And of
gymnast. The little girl
course-
has to be the best gymnast.
Yeah, of course. So
and
that's what she presents online, and of course, what's in reality is
It's
not
not
that. She's
that.
having an affair.
with a handyman,
Yeah,
basically.
and the
She's in
girl,
love with
the
them.
daughter, isn't the perfect gymnast. She's actually just okay.
She's just a normal kid.
But the son is a complete brat,
Complete brat. Spoiled brat.
and the husband is unattentive and
Aloof.
aloof.
Detached.
Yeah, plays his guitar with his headphones on
Yeah.
and works on his garden.
Yeah. So
But she finds this egg, the
Well,
young daughter.
the mom, she finds this bird that's hurt. And the mom kills the bird, or tries to kill the bird right in
A
front of
bird
her.
flies in, yeah,
Like breaks the bird's neck.
and says, put it in the compost bin.
Put it in the compost bin. And the girl's kind of traumatized by that.
Yep.
Just watching her mom just break the bird's neck of this bird that she's tried to save.
Yeah. The mom just shrugs it off like, all right.
So that's like the first hint that the mom is kind of like heartless,
Yeah.
you know.
And then the girl finds an egg when she's throwing the bird away in the compost bin. She finds this weird speckled egg in the
Mhm.
woods and takes it home,
And takes it home and decides, because
Puts it
she
in-
feels,
puts it in her bed.
well, she tries to save the bird, but the
Yeah.
bird is in pain and can't be saved.
Yeah.
So she follows through with killing the bird.
Yeah.
But then she feels guilty, so she finds the egg, and she adds her like.
Oh, that's
act
right.
of-
Yeah. Is it the same bird or a different bird she
It's
kills?
the same bird.
Oh, because it's not
she
fully
goes
dead.
to the it's not fully dead.
She bashes it in with like a rock.
Like very angrily, like her anger is coming out. So she takes the egg home, puts it in her bed, and starts nurturing it basically.
And the egg gets bigger.
a lot bigger, like quickly bigger.
And then this humanoid bird thing that comes out of like what was that, Jim Henson's Legend or Labyrinth,
Yeah.
right?
It's like a something from that. Yeah.
This weird creature.
Weird bird, human-sized creature.
Yeah. Starts living in her room under her bed in her little wardrobe.
And she bathes it.
Yeah.
And, befriends it. At first she's scared of it, but then she befriends it.
She's connected with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, without giving too much away, as you can imagine, the bird starts becoming more human-like.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, it shows her when it's still an egg.
Yeah.
It shows her... Because when she finds out about her mom shares. I mean,
Mom wants to talk about it.
Her mom wants to treat her like she's a bestie and tell her about her affair.
Yeah.
And how in love she is with this man, and your dad's just your dad, and whatever. So she's taking all this in as a child and trying to be adult about it. But she goes to this egg and kind of weeps, like hugs it and cries, and the tears are like sucked into the egg.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So anyway, this bird starts taking on like human-like qualities.
And then, of course, anything that angers or upsets the girl, the bird will address and take care of. And because it's a horror movie, right?
And she doesn't realize that at first, but then she connects it.
Yeah, that this bird is kind of a monster.
The bird is like, it's a manifestation of her anger or whatever she's angry about or whatever.
Yeah.
The bird kind of
will deal with it. Yeah, take care of it. So that's the question you can ask yourself, like, as you watch it, and we even talked a bit about it afterwards. Like, is this all in her mind? Is this bird real?
Is she developing like a multiple personality where this is just like her side of her that takes care or like deals with all the anger and issues that she's manifesting because of her mom and whatever else?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
So I would say it's fun, like for a film festival when this is your third movie, like back to back with no real breaks. It's, 11:30 at night.
Definitely kept your attention.
It's a fun little movie. It definitely like winks at you throughout the movie from time to time, but it never is corny or silly. Even though it could easily be silly.
Yeah.
But I think it does a good job of just kind of like winking at you, like we get it. It's kind of ridiculous.
It does, but it also.
But it never goes full blown horror movie either.
It makes you look at. I mean, in an over the top way, but it makes you look at just the whole social media thing. Like when you look at people's pictures and whatever on social media, this is the best version of. This is the painted version of everybody.
But none of it doesn't
really
hit your.
winks
It doesn't.
at that,
It doesn't hit you over the head with any of it.
No, but
that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. It doesn't. Like some filmmakers might say, this is my point, right?
Yeah.
It's there. Just like the ambiguity of this bird creature in general, right? Mm-hmm. You could look at this as a full-blown horror movie. This is a bird monster that shows up that starts killing and taking things over. Or you could look at it as this is trauma and manifestation of emotional issues of how to deal with it.
Or you could take a whole different take, which I'm not going to say what it is, because that would kind of ruin the end, that you took. When I walked out of the theater, I was like, what?
No, it's definitely there.
Yeah, so it was a good movie to end on, I thought, for that night. And it was really different, something that you're not going to forget.
Well, we saw like a quirky comedy, a heartfelt drama that wasn't too over the top drama. Like it was appropriate.
Yeah.
And then the foreign
foreign horror movie. It was a really
But was
great
also short, under 90 minutes. So
trilogy,
it was perfect.
like trilogy combination of
Yeah.
movies for a film fest.
Yeah,
So
and
we
it was a
went
different
home
vibe.
feeling good about our
So what streaming service is Hatching going to show up on?
Shudder.
Yeah, it's a definite Shudder. Though occasionally Netflix picks up those foreign films. So you might see it on Netflix, but it's definitely coming to Shudder soon.
For sure. 100%.
All right, so you can see Marvelous and the Black Hole on Hulu. Relative probably
these
on
are
Amazon.
predictions.
No, we commit to it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like they said in our shorts, Florida short presentations, you gotta go for it. You gotta go for it.
You gotta go for it. You gotta go.
Make your own destiny.
Create.
Relative will probably be on Amazon Prime, maybe Netflix, and all of them are going to say maybe Netflix. All these will say maybe Netflix, and then
Netflix
Hatching,
like a wild card.
and then Hatching will be on Shudder.
Shudder for sure.
And then so that was that. We went home. It was midnight.
That was Saturday.
Made the drive home. Ate a pizza when we got home.
Cauliflower pizza.
Yeah. And then changed locations to the University of Tampa and watched a series of short films that were
made in Florida, made by women.
Yeah, women directors.
Wait, but the last one wasn't made by women.
No, it was. It was. I think it was directed by a woman.
Oh, it was.
I think
she
so.
just wasn't there.
She wasn't present.
Okay.
It
was highlighting women filmmakers made in Florida. Yeah.
Making short films.
Yeah, making short films.
And I mean, the reality is, beyond, like we kind of joke about where those other films will end up in streaming. That's the one thing. Short films
don't have a place.
Don't really ever have a home.
No, they don't.
So I don't know if we'll ever see these again, but
except in film festivals and
yeah,
artsy type places.
But they ran the gamut. It was
fun to sit there and watch. It was 5.
Yeah, there was a comedy. There was kind of a documentary style about Florida state parks.
And then a very, very short,
2-minute
drama.
Film, which I can dig things that are like 2 minutes. It's fun. It's different. This one wasn't the best, but
it wasn't great.
I could get behind. That would almost be. I had a thought sitting there, like maybe we should spearhead the 2-minute film festival.
Yeah,
and all films are 2 minutes.
It's kind of like the six-line poem, or 6-word poem,
or the 6-word stories.
6-word story, yeah.
And then there was a very serious drama one, and then a very goofy comedy one.
Goofy comedy one, yeah. So that
about
was
the
a
Florida
fun
skunk
hour, basically.
But what was more interesting, kind of like
a lot
Relative,
of the actors and directors and producers were there,
present.
Which was nice. It's fun seeing them being excited about their film, whether it's 15 minutes or 2 minutes on there.
Yeah.
I thought that was, to feel that energy in the room is such an intriguing and exciting part of being part of a film festival. To go to a film festival even, to see stuff like that, is that these people have worked on a project for however long, something that they put their energy and time and passion into, and to see them seeing it on a screen is really fun just to be there and be a part of, whether it's really good or not that great or, whatever.
And it seemed like a lot of them, or all of them, were made amongst COVID.
Yeah, it seemed like that.
Which is inspiring, too, that people kind of doing something productive during COVID versus
creative.
Just kind of sitting around not doing anything. I mean, our podcast kind of came out of thinking about COVID.
It did.
It came kind of a little post-COVID, but we kind of started talking about it.
And it's kind of like, that, you should create something. You shouldn't just consume, but you should create. Consume and create, at the same time. But the best short film for me.
Oh, okay. Go there?
Yeah, I want to go there.
Okay.
Was Lioness.
Yeah, I think that was my pick too.
It was the more dramatic, and so it was like 15 minutes long. It was a woman kind of barricading herself in a hotel room from an abusive spouse or boyfriend or relationship or whatever. They don't know. There's really no dialogue in it.
Well, in a short movie like that, you can't.
Yeah. And she's there with her daughter, and she's doing things. She's taping stuff on the wall. You don't really know what she's doing.
Yeah.
You see her bruises. There's a lot of up close. There's the daughter sleeping. She's folding paper. She's taping stuff up to the walls. She's moving furniture. And
Yeah, you don't quite know what she's doing. You think she's more like, is she kind of crazy?
is she leaving a
this?
message? I'm
Yeah.
thinking the whole time, like, she's leaving some kind of message
Yeah.
for someone. She's, like, I don't know. Is she mentally ill? Like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
And then we'll say the end.
Of course, no one's
because
ever gonna see it.
nobody's going to see this. At the end, it shows her, like, daughter waking up in the morning, and she's seeing this, like, basically the mom has, like, made this big fort with these little, like, plastic dinosaurs and this
She's made
wonderland.
balloons. She's made balloons,
because
images
it's
of balloons,
the daughter's birthday.
air balloons out of the phone book. She's hung things up with maxi pads,
Yeah.
like just
Making a birthday wonderland for when her daughter wakes up, and she's in the midst of this domestic violence crisis, and it's just showing what women will do for their children, even amidst their darkest hour.
Yeah, but what was
and
crazy?
I loved that.
Two things we found out
I
that
love
was
that.
crazy. One, it was directed by a high schooler,
It was.
which I thought was impressive.
Who wasn't there because he or she
She.
is at Yale now.
Yeah, yeah. And then number two, the young girl who's in it, because everybody's kind of talking about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this young girl now, since then, has moved on to big projects. She's in
The
the
daughter.
new, the actress.
We Work.
Younger.
We
the We Work show.
Crash. It's called Crash.
Yep, that's coming on
and
Apple
it's about
Plus.
WeWork on Apple Plus, and she's the most famous actress in that whole lineup of about 10 to 12 grown-ups standing up there in the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
She is the person who has gone the farthest. This little
And
7-year-old
she's like,
little
yeah,
girl.
since this little short, you'll see my next project on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
on the new
I'm like,
on the new
oh my
movie called
gosh,
Crash.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which we had just seen the trailer for just the other night.
We did, yeah.
So now, though I wasn't 100% interested in it, maybe
Now
we'll
I'm
watch it
interested
just to
in
see
it.
her
yeah,
again.
I am, for sure.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think it was really good. So it was another good film festival. We didn't go to, right now as we're speaking, Old Henry's playing. They're doing the closing film.
They are. We didn't do that.
But we had to recap. But no, it's good. So
Closing the night with our sour.
yeah,
pineapple
and
sour.
Magnanimous is picking back up as the sun's going down.
It is. St.
There's our
Paddy's Day
cheers.
celebration. Even though it's not St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, the city of Tampa decided to celebrate St. Patrick's Day
So did a lot
early.
of cities. A lot of cities.
Really?
did.
Is that a thing
yeah,
this year?
Yeah. It is. They do it on the weekend so they can make more money.
Okay. I think it's because it's on a Sunday.
No, I think it's because people come out and drink on the weekend.
Yes, I mean,
versus-
so to make it on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
To make more money. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, it's Gasparilla. We don't always do this, but we'll kind of recap that. If you like it, you can check us out. Like and subscribe wherever you do those things on your podcast services. If you really like it, you give us 5 stars. If you don't,
That
you
would be
hold off on
amazing.
rating us until we get to the 5-star status.
Yeah, until or give us some suggestions.
Yeah. And we hinted that we do have an Oscar
an
show
email.
coming up.
Oh yeah,
We have an Instagram
we have an Instagram.
where we post a lot of our pictures. And as the ambulances
Ambulance
drive
goes by.
we'll pause. 2 ambulances.
2 ambulances. Oh, fire truck.
Fire truck.
It's on location.
We always film on location. I was going to say, what we're also working towards in a future upcoming episode is for the month of March, we're watching 1990 films.
Yeah,
5 of them.
5 of them
The Picture of the Year, Dances with Wolves.
we've watched already.
Which we watched. And Young Guns 2.
We've watched.
And we still have to watch Awakenings, Pretty Woman, and...
Joe versus the volcano.
Yes. And at the end of the month, we're going to be, each of us ranking those independently and see where we fall in those 5. We each pick 2 each, as well as the Picture of the Year. So that's kind of everyone's homework. That's an episode. And then in the meantime, we also talk about what other random films we see.
And then we're doing the Oscars.
Yeah. So I just want to put that out there in case we have some new folks listening because of Gasparilla. In case anyone's curious about our Gasparilla Roundup, I don't think there's many podcasts out there that's doing the Gasparilla Film Festival Roundup.
Definitely not.
Though we only did really one day and the day of shorts.
Well,
we wanted to see voices from Cuba, but
we did.
The downtown Tampa St. Patty's Day celebrations
the
got in our way.
River Green Fest, whatever.
And it's not because we were drinking green beer. We didn't have any drinks.
None.
We just couldn't.
To our dismay, we had none.
We couldn't make it through the crowds. And it took us like 3 hours to find a bathroom.
Yeah. So that we didn't make it to Voices of Cuba, which would have been really interesting, but we didn't.
Okay.
So.
Well, this Gasparilla International Film Festival number 15 in the books.
In the books.
Until maybe by 16 will be the official podcast. I don't know. We'll talk to some folks about it.
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping to get in there next year.
At least by the 18th year.
Definitely. Probably by next year. I'm optimistic.
All right. Film Tampa Bay. Reach out. Let us know.
All right.
It was fun talking. Bye.